Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing great. Welcome to another edition of Wedding Planning Tips from a DJ's perspective. Today, we're going to talk about the exciting world of seating charts and floor plans. Yeah, and calm down, everybody. Calm down. I know this is exciting stuff, so don't get too excited. But yes, we're going to talk about that today. But realistically, there is a lot of logistics that goes behind making a good floor plan and a seating chart. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to create your floor plan and your seating charts. Now, when you have your wedding, of course, a lot of times you're going to work with a wedding coordinator or a venue coordinator who's going to help you with that seating chart. They're going to help you also with that floor plan and making the floor plan because they do, hundreds of weddings a year. So they know exactly, they have a certain method as far as how they're going to set the floor plan. So my tips today are going to be more coming from, again, a DJ's perspective on little things you may not think about when you're making that floor plan. So let's get into it.
What we're hearing now is jazz in the present tense.
My first tip I'm going to give you in creating floor plans is leave space for speakers and dance lighting. So I always get a lot of floor plans from my wedding couples. They'll send them to me and they look great, and then I'll ask them, so where are our speakers and dance lighting gonna go? And they look like a deer in headlights like this. So you wanna make sure you always leave enough space on the floor plan for your speakers and any sort of dance floor lighting that you plan to have. That takes up quite a bit of space at times, so you wanna make sure that you do leave some space somewhere on that floor plan for speakers and dance lights. My next tip has more to do with seating arrangements, and that is try to place your older folks, meaning your grandparents, parents, maybe aunts, uncles, as far away as possible as you can from the DJ speakers. It can get very loud, so try to place them as far as you can away from the speakers. That way their ears aren't getting blown out by the end of the night when dancing starts. So when you're looking at your floor plan, and typically most couples do want to have their closest family members as close as possible to them. So when you are planning this floor plan, do the best you can and try to arrange it so that you do have, like, a lot of the elder folks are kind of farther away from the speakers. It's really going to make their night more enjoyable. When you're deciding where to place your DJ as close as possible to the dance floor. The reason being is that when we're DJing for your audience, we're constantly looking at the dance floor. We're looking up and down, but we're looking at the dance floor, so we need to be able to see the dance floor nice and clear. But more importantly, we also need to be able to connect with the audience. So it involves reading the crowd and vibing off the crowd. As DJs, we feed off the crowd. Our energy comes from the crowd. So we want to be able to be as close as possible to your guests when they're dancing. The other reason we want to be close to the dance floor is that a lot of times DJs will also do their emceeing and hosting on the dance floor, but they also need to go back to the DJ booth or table to control music as well too. So having a big long distance of walking back and forth from the dance floor to the DJ booth can get a little bit awkward, especially after they've done some talking and emceeing and walking back. There's kind of that dead silence. So always try to, if you can, place the DJ as close as possible to the dance floor, so that way we're able to connect with that audience and we're able to stay as close as possible with the dance floor if we have to do any kind of emceeing during your reception. Kind of following along with my last tip about placing your DJ close to the dance floor, don't forget to leave room for your dance floor. I can't remember how many times I've looked at floor plans and they look great, and when I get to the actual reception, the dance floor is about the size of my bathroom. So make sure you leave enough space for a dance floor. A good amount of space that you're going to want is really going to depend obviously on your wedding size, but say about 150 people, you're going to need a dance floor of about 20 by 20. Now, most venues, they already know exactly what size dance floor you're going to need. But there are some venues that have coordinators and they won't really tell you what size you're going to want. So make sure you leave yourself enough room for a good sized dance floor. That way everyone's not kind of squished and they're having a good time and not bumping into each other while they're dancing. And my last and final tip is leave enough space between your tables so that your guests can walk between the tables, but also so that you have room for your grand entrance. So when we do a grand entrance, you're going to be coming typically from like an outside entrance area, from like a main lobby area if it's a venue, and you're going to walk into the room. You want to make sure you have enough space to walk between tables for your grand entrance for you and your wedding party. So make sure there's enough space so that you're not having to squeeze through chairs and tables. And that way you're nice and comfortable when you're walking around, and also your guests are going to appreciate that as well too. They don't want to have to kind of keep pushing chairs in and out and pushing people out of the way when they're trying to go between tables. So make sure you leave enough adequate space between each table. Again, your venue is going to be able to tell you how many tables and chairs you can fit in a room, so they're going to have a better sense of how much space you'll need. But again, I've seen floor plans where it looks great, but then I get there and everything's just squished together. So make sure you leave enough room for walking around, for your grand entrance, for your guests, and that way everyone feels nice and comfortable, and you won't have to kind of squeeze through everything. So those are some tips for making a floor plan and also a seating chart. Hopefully you found those informative. I've got some more details coming for you for wedding planning as well. Again, if you like this video and you find it informative, please continue to follow them, whether you're watching it on Instagram or YouTube. Stay close. I've got a lot more content coming up here in just a bit. You can also email me anytime if you have any specific questions. That's info@djtwinspin.com, info@djtwinspin.com. Go ahead and email me anytime you like. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.